Yeah, Rotary. Rotary has, first of all, in the manual procedure, the word food never appears, just to be really clear. But I learned this about food when I was governor. You know, when you're a governor, when you're visiting a club, they would like you to eat first because you're going to speak while everybody else is eating. And so I went through this Rotary Club, and, well, I probably shouldn't tell you the name, but let's just say it's a Rotary Club in Santa Cruz, California.
Used to belong.
That meets on Fridays at lunch. Anyway, did somebody actually say they remember the Rotary Club of Santa Cruz? We have one there? It might have been you that I'm telling this story about. Seriously, I have to hide. I got a homie. Anyway, but quite honestly, so they meet at the Elks Club, and I was getting this buffet line. It's one of these buffet lines that you can go down through both sides of the buffet. And so, you know, as you do at a buffet, you're going from chafing dish to chafing dish. So I come across this one chafing dish that has in it gray, lumpy matter. I'm from Hawaii originally, and gray is a color that I appreciate in my food because I like poi very much, but never, ever, ever should poi be lumpy. So I'm looking at this stuff, trying to figure out if I have animal, vegetable, or mineral in front of me. And I look up, and across from me is quite literally either, well, let's just say that one of the most senior members in that club or on earth. And I look, and we both kind of meet each other's eyes, and I look back down, and I'm still trying to figure this out, and I look up, and this individual says to me, and I kid you not, I wouldn't. I didn't. Or maybe the reason you joined is service above self. Maybe that's the reason you joined, to help other people. Well, having been a governor, I was governor in 2002-2003, and since that time, I have tried my very best to be a student of the organization, to understand why people join and what it is that keeps them in our organization. And after doing this, and I still would claim to be a student, after doing this, I've come to the conclusion the reason that most people join our organization and most people stay in our organization has remarkably little to do with service above self. I said that right. Clearly, I don't know any of you or very few of you in this room, so I cannot claim why you joined or why you remain. But by my observation, the reason that most people will join us, and the reason that a lot of people stay with us, has remarkably little to do with service above self. And if you'll allow me to express this, I'll try and tell you why I think that is the case. We know our motto, service above self. It's where we put the needs of others above our own. We take our time, our treasure, our talent. We take our energy, our enthusiasm, our spirit to help those less fortunate. And behind this basic model, we've grown to remarkable numbers. You know these numbers. Here we have our organization in over 200 countries and geographic regions. There are more than 34,000 Rotary clubs globally, and that wonderful number we've known for many years, 1.2 million Rotarians. And then we do remarkable things. We, as an organization, felt that we could do something that had only been done once before, and the book was not written well as to how to do it. And that we would have the audacity to decide that we could eliminate a disease from the face of this earth in our spare time. Because, you know, we have a job, we have a family, we have stuff that's going on, and yet we decided that we could eradicate polio. And I think it's important that you understand any Rotarian that's going to spend a weekend at a Rotary District Conference should know where we are in the eradication of this disease. From that 350,000 cases that were occurring annually in the 1980s to today. In fact, last year, there were only 359 new cases worldwide in 3 endemic countries. And you know those 3, Nigeria, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. So you've probably heard the expression, we're just this close. Well, it really, really depends on where you are. Because if I was standing On the African continent, my fingers are now together, because the last case of polio in Nigeria was July the 24th of this past year. But here's the thing, if we go to July the 24th of this year, Nigeria will no longer be a polio endemic country, which means the continent of Africa is no longer polio endemic. Our last battleground is clear. We now know where the last battle will be for the eradication of polio. It's Pakistan. It is the place that we have our greatest challenge. First of all, just to let you know, as I stand before you here today, and just to be clear, we are in May. So far this year, there have been 23 cases worldwide of polio. 22 of them in Pakistan, 1 in Afghanistan. And so we're remarkably close there. But you see, our challenge, the thing that is between us and success right now of the polio eradication effort, is a word that we never knew until the early 2000s. It's something that for those of us that have been in Rotary since the 1980s, never knew would be in our way. We knew it would be tough. We knew we would have to raise money. We knew we'd have to create the cold chain and all these processes to get the polio vaccine into the mouths of children. But we never knew that the last foe we would have to fight would be the Taliban. An organization that actually will not let us reach their children. And you and I can both sit here and say that's wrong. That's easy to say. They have their reasons. I wouldn't agree with any of them, but it really doesn't matter, because for a variety of reasons they stand in our way, and they decided to really change the game, because you see, part of the process is they actually are aggressively going after our healthcare workers, and in many cases killing them. And you think this is crazy, this is absolutely unbelievable. It is. However, the people at the World Health Organization and Rotary firmly believe that they have a strategy in place right now that will arrest the transmission of the polio virus in Pakistan. And in fact, the number of 22 cases is remarkably low, because at this time last year, there were more than double that at 54 cases. And so I can honestly tell you with a reasonable level of intelligence and integrity that it's highly likely that during our next Rotary year, we will have seen the last transmitted case of polio worldwide. And we, you, us, had the audacity to believe in the 1980s that we could do this. And what is perhaps more remarkable is stick with it for 30 years at a cost of over $1.3 billion from your pocket, not from someone else's pocket. Literally, we have raised over $1.3 billion from the pockets and generosity, and a few of you here tonight, to eradicate this disease. Over 2 billion children immunized. But we don't stop there. We go out and we provide wheelchairs to those who lack mobility. We reach into our communities. We help organizations within our own communities to make their lives better so that they can help our communities better. We create projects within our club where our members go out and make a difference in the community. We improve literacy and numeracy. We house the homeless. We feed the hungry. And we teach children in our community how to do things right. Not by just a broad context of how to do it right, but according to values that we hold dear, the four-way test, or the youth exchange program, where we literally create peace across the globe at a level that will make a difference in our future. Richard D. King is a past president of our organization, and he says frequently that Rotary is the greatest nonprofit, non-governmental, non-religious organization in the history of the world. You would think for all of our benevolence, for all that we are doing and all that we have done, that outside every one of our Rotary Club doors, there would be a line of people waiting to join us. When in fact, the only line that we see forming at our Rotary Club doors are people inside, leaving us to go out. Quite literally losing ourselves. Recently, Rotary did a study to understand better the dynamic that was going on with our membership. And we came to recognize that over an 8-year period, we brought into our organization 1.2 million Rotarians. And for those of you who can do math quickly, you come to know that we haven't changed our number of members for the past 15 years. We've been at 1.2 we literally over an 8-year period have lost ourselves. Why? Well, it actually might be the food, but well, only in one club. But you know this. Your clubs within this district, and I say this with deep respect because you do not stand alone. There are many like this. You've lost over 18% of your members in the past 10 years. And in fact, when I look at your club numbers, there's only 2 clubs in this district that have a positive number of members relative to where they were 10 years ago, greater than 10 members. Only 2. So what is it that we're doing? Why is it that we're challenged by this? Well, I think there are many reasons. Our cost, the time it takes. There are a number of reasons you probably know better than I do. But I think fundamentally the reason is membership in Rotary is not a priority. There are too many other reasons that are more important. And honestly, I think that one of the failings of our organization is over time, we have lost track of all the people that we serve. We have stopped helping one of the most important groups of people that we serve. We become so focused on the nature and the concept of service above self that the most important group of people are not being recognized for what they receive. And that group of people, you. The people who are in this room right now are Rotarians. In my opinion, there is no more important group of people that we serve ever. And until we come to understand what it is that we give our members and why it is they join us and remain with us, I think we will remain challenged. See, many people will argue with me and say, no, it's the people that we're helping in our communities. But I would suggest to them, were it not for the fact that you are a member of our organization and each year you make a decision to remain with us, no, each week you make a decision to remain with us, we'd never be able to do all those things that I just articulated. See, what I think we have to do is we have to be able to express why we joined Rotary and why it is we remain in this organization, and be able to tell people, you don't need to know what I'm going to tell you right now. What you need to be able to do is to talk about why you are in Rotary, not what is Rotary. If you know why you're in Rotary, anybody can fill in the blanks as to what is Rotary. For me, it's the elevator speech. When somebody says, what's on your lapel, why are you wearing that pin? And I say, I'm in Rotary. And they say, what is Rotary? I said, let me answer a different question. Let me tell you why I'm in it. You see, once we do this, once we can talk to people that are in our organization and remind them why they join and give them concrete reasons, it'll be easier for them to tell non-members why they should join. You see, from my perspective, you are our customers. You are the people that we have to each week convince to come back again. And those people that are not part of our organization we treat like potential customers. So if you will buy into this notion that you are our customers, the next question you have to ask is, so who's our competition? Kiwanis? Lions? Really? I mean, how many times have you ever tried, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Lions or Kiwanis for any reason, but how many times have you invited somebody to come to a Rotary Club meeting to have them go, hey, you know, the Kiwanis were going to make a much better offer. We don't even look for the same people in our community. If you've ever tried to invite somebody into a Rotary meeting, you know who our competition is. It's work, it's family, it's friends, it's church, it's sleep, it's life. That's our competitor, and it is a fierce competitor. It gives people plenty of reasons. You've asked the person, why don't you come on to my Rotary meeting? Oh, you guys are great, you're eradicating that disease, but you know, right now it's really bad in my business, and I have to spend a lot of time there, and not this time of my life. Both my kids, every weekend I'm either at a volleyball game or a soccer tournament. You folks find each other a lot. That's too expensive for me. You spend way too much time doing what you do. I can't possibly, but when I retire, I will join you. You've heard this. If you have a new club member come and speak before the lectern, you know, normally they have, I don't know if you have here, red badgers or whatever it is, that you help them to get oriented and you ask them to come and speak at the lecture. At one point, you're going to hear a phrase. I hear it almost every time. They said, I joined Rotary because it was about time I gave back to my community. As if it had to be a rite of passage. They had to get to